Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take the information you've gathered, maybe it's an article, could be a whole stack of research, or like today, even a wiki entry, and we really dig in.
Yeah, the goal is to pull out those core insights, maybe some surprising facts, and just give you the download.
Exactly, without you having to sift through it all yourself. Today, we're diving into just one source, but it's a really fascinating entry from the Jackie Chan Adventures wiki. We're focusing on one magical object, the Panku Box.
Ah, yes, the Panku Box, central to Season 2.
Right, so our mission today is to unpack everything this wiki entry tells us about this legendary relic, what made it so important to that season's story, what are its unique properties.
And some of those properties are quite unexpected based on this source.
Definitely. We found some pretty cool details here, like why a super powerful demon couldn't even lay a finger on it, or what its status was after its main job seemed well done.
It really was the key MacGuffin for that whole season, wasn't it? And the details in this particular source, this wiki entry, they really highlight its specific nature and how it fits into the show's whole magic system.
Okay, let's get into it then, starting right at the beginning. What is the Panku Box, according to this entry?
Well, first off, despite the name box, the source clarifies it's actually described more like a puzzle, a legendary magical relic, yeah, but fundamentally a puzzle.
A puzzle.
Okay.
And it was featured heavily in Season 2.
Oh yeah, all through it. And the description here is pretty specific. It calls it an elongated octahedral box, which is a mouthful.
Yeah, like a stretched out, many-sided crystal shape,
Yeah.
but with the ends truncated, flattened off.
Right. And it mentions a spherical core inside, made of 32 pieces, deep blue, with yellow and red markings.
Markings which are important, the source says, these trigrams. Symbols with 3 lines, some solid, some broken.
Exactly, on the top and bottom.
Yeah.
Apparently they're the key to actually solving the puzzle aspect of it.
Okay, so it's this ancient puzzle box. Where did it come from? What's the origin story here?
According to this entry, it goes way back, forged ages ago in China.
By?
The 8 immortals, the legendary ones.
The same immortals who dealt with, Shendu and his whole demonic family.
But the very same.
Yeah.
The source says they made it using good magic. Pure good magic.
And its first job, its main purpose initially.
Was directly tied to those demons. The immortals used this box, this puzzle, to banish Shendu and his 7 siblings to the netherworld.
Wow, so the box itself was the tool for banishment.
Well, specifically, the source says they used it to seal them in the netherworld, each demon behind its own specific portal. The box created the locks, essentially.
Okay, sealing the portals, which leads right into its main function, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The entry is really clear on this. The Panku Box is the only thing capable of locating and then unlocking these specific demon portals. Nothing else works.
The only way in or out, basically. So how does the puzzle part work to achieve that? The source mentions it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Pieces rotate.
Yeah, horizontally and vertically. And those trigram lines we mentioned, they're the instructions.
The instructions how?
The source says an unbroken line means you do a vertical half turn. A broken line means a horizontal quarter turn. You have to follow those cues.
Okay, so you twist and turn following the trigram code.
Yeah.
What happens when you get it right for a specific demon?
The description here is pretty cool. When you match the sides to a demon's trigram, solving that puzzle,
Yeah.
the box starts to glow, like intensely with good magic. It floats up, levitates,
Yeah.
and then a section opens, showing that sphere inside, and then it discharges energy.
And the energy is the map, right?
That's
The source says.
Exactly. For a short time, it projects this map showing where that specific demon's portal is located.
Yeah.
And the trigram you just solved, it actually protrudes from the box, becoming like a physical key.
Okay, so step 1, solve it, get the map, and the key pops out.
Yeah.
Step 2, go to the location. Then what?
Then, when you're actually at the portal's location, solving the puzzle again, or maybe just using that key part that popped out, the source isn't perfectly clear, maybe? It discharges energy again. But this time, it's not a map. That energy stream actually generates and opens the real portal.
So it finds it and opens it, locator and key, like you said.
Precisely.
And this entry lists all the demons it worked for. Pokong, Xiaofeng, Chengzu, Solan, Daigi, Shiwu, Baiza, and Shendu, of course.
Yeah, quite the rogues gallery locked away by this thing.
Let's talk properties, because this source highlights some really interesting stuff. First off, it's apparently indestructible.
Virtually, yeah.
Yeah.
The entry says you can't force it open. Not with power tools, not with just brute strength.
And it gives that Hawk Fu example, right?
Oh yeah, from the episode Jade times Jade. Hakfu, this incredibly strong martial artist, literally tried to smash it open with his forehead. All he did, according to this, was give himself a big red mark and damage the table underneath the box. The box itself, totally unharmed.
It's impressive durability.
Yeah.
But there's another property that's maybe even more fascinating. It's harmful to evil beings.
Yeah, because it was forged with pure good magic, the source explains that being steeped in dark magic, like the demon sorcerers, physically cannot touch it.
What happens if they try?
It knocks them unconscious, causes them actual harm, but the box takes 0 damage.
Wow. And there was that trivia point you mentioned about indirect contact.
Right. The entry notes that even when Shendu is just possessing Valmont's body, trying to handle the box still hurt him, it suggests maybe just the concentrated presence of that kind of evil is enough to trigger its defensive magic.
So it's not just a passive lockbox. It actively resists evil.
Seems like it. Speaks to the power the immortals put into it, you know?
Okay, so looking at its role in the show, the source confirms it was basically the driving force of Season 2. From episode 5 to 26.
Absolutely central. It even popped up in the opening sequence that season, replacing the dragon talismans for a bit. That shows you how important it was.
Huge deal. But what happened after? After the demons were dealt with again at the end of the season?
Well, the entry says that after Uncle performed that spell to seal the portals forever.
Forever being the key word.
Right. The box was basically considered obsolete and useless for reopening those portals. Its main job was done.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's an exception noted for Shendu.
That's the interesting twist, yeah. Because Shendu wasn't just banished, he was sent back as a spirit, but infused with his siblings' powers. He could apparently still slip between dimensions easier. So this entry suggests his portal is the only one that the box might still be able to open, even after Uncle's big sealing spell.
Okay, that's a significant detail. And what about the box itself? Where did it end up, does the source tell us?
It gives us its last known location and situation. It was last seen being used, actually, to try and open Shendu's portal to rescue Jade, who was trapped.
Okay, so they were trying to use that loophole.
Exactly. But according to the details here, before they could activate it, Hakfu swooped in and stole it. On Shendu's order.
Stole it. And then?
And then nothing. The entry specifically notes Hakfu just drove off with it, and in his later appearances, he never mentions it again.
So Hakfu might be the only one who knows where it ended up.
Based on this source, yeah. It leaves its ultimate fate totally up in the air. A pretty big loose end.
Wow. Okay. And finally, just a quick bit of trivia. The source mentions the name Panku Box.
Yeah, it points out it's named after Panku, or Pangu in some tellings, who is this primeval being in some Chinese creation myths, the first living thing, creator of the world, that sort of figure.
Naming this ancient, powerful sealing device after a creator figure adds a nice layer.
Definitely ties it into some deep mythology.
Okay, so let's quickly recap what we've pulled from this wiki entry. We've got this puzzle box, not just a container.
Right. Forged by the 8 immortals with good magic, specifically to seal the 8 demon sorcerers in the netherworld.
And it's the only way to locate their portals, using this trigram-based puzzle system.
Which then projects a map and generates a key.
And then can be used again at the location to actually open the portal.
Plus, it's basically indestructible by force.
And actively harmful to dark magic users, even potentially through indirect contact. Really potent, good magic artifact.
And while its main function became obsolete after Uncle sealed the portals forever.
There's that Shendu exception. His portal might still be openable by the box.
And critically, its last known sighting had it being stolen by Hakfu, with its fate after that completely unknown, according to this source.
So, thinking about this object now, what really jumps out at you, I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it? Something designed specifically to contain ultimate evil is also the only key to let it out.
That duality is definitely core to its function in the story. The lock and the key are one and the same.
Which leads to a final thought for you to maybe chew on, building on what we've unpacked here. Since Hakfu took it and we don't know where it is, and since this entry suggests Shendu's portal might still work with it, could the Panku Box ever actually show up again? Maybe for reasons we haven't even considered, beyond just Shendu's gate.
Or is it just gone? Lost to time? Sitting in some garage Hakfu forgot about?
Exactly. Is it a closed chapter or a story waiting to be reopened?
A very interesting question to leave things on concerning such a powerful and maybe not so obsolete artifact.
Well, thanks for going on this deep dive into the Panku Box with us based on this wiki entry. We hope you found some cool stuff in there.